Birthdays are supposed to be happy. That's what everyone says anyway. But my 12th taught me that celebrations can be masks for the ugliest truths. I'm Ayla, and I learned this lesson while crouched behind our kitchen island at midnight, listening to my mother's whispered promises to a man who wasn't my father. "We'll tell her tomorrow after the party," Mom said, her voice carrying that silky tone she used when she wanted something. "Daniel won't make a scene, not on her birthday." The man, Tyler, laughed softly. "You're sure about the accounts? Once we move forward, trust me, I've planned everything." My fingers dug into the cold tile floor. I'd only come down for water, but now my throat felt like sandpaper. The moonlight streaming through our bay windows cast strange shadows across the granite countertop, turning familiar shapes into monsters. "What about Ayla?" Tyler asked. "She's attached to Daniel. She'll adjust. Children are resilient." Mom's bracelets clinked as she moved. "Besides, she'll have both of us now. We'll give her a better life." I wanted to scream that my life was already perfect, that I didn't need it to be better. Instead, I stayed frozen, barely breathing, as they continued plotting how to tear my world apart. The next morning, Mom acted like nothing had changed. She made chocolate chip pancakes, my favorite, and sang "Happy Birthday" with Dad. Her smile never wavered, but now I saw the emptiness behind it. "Make a wish, sweetheart," Dad said, his eyes crinkling at the corners like they always did when he looked at me. I stared at the 12 flickering candles, thinking about how many times Mom must have practiced her lies in front of a mirror to make them sound so convincing. The wax dripped onto the frosting while I wished for everything to stay the same, knowing it was already too late. Later, during the party, I watched Mom check her phone constantly, her fingers dancing across the screen. Every notification made her smile in a way Dad's jokes never did anymore. My friends noticed nothing unusual as they devoured cake and played party games. But I saw the distance growing between my parents with every passing hour, like a crack spreading across ice. When the last guest left, Mom touched Dad's arm. "We need to talk." Those words hung in the air like smoke. Dad's face changed. Subtle, but I'd spent 12 years studying his expressions. He knew something was wrong. "Ayla, honey, go to your room," Mom said. "No." The word came out sharper than I'd intended. "Whatever you're going to say, I deserve to hear it." Mom's perfect mask slipped for just a second. "How did you—" "I heard you last night, with Tyler." Dad went very still. "Tyler? Daniel, I—" Mom started, but I cut her off. "She's leaving you for him. They've been planning it." My voice didn't shake, even though my hands did. "They think I'm resilient enough to handle it." The silence that followed was deafening. Dad's face drained of color, while Mom's flushed red. The birthday banner above the fireplace mockingly proclaimed, "Happy 12th birthday," in glittering letters. "Is this true?" Dad asked quietly. Mom's response was a carefully constructed speech about growing apart and new beginnings. I stopped listening halfway through, focusing instead on the way Dad's shoulders slumped slightly with each word. He looked older suddenly, like he'd aged years in minutes. "I'm taking Ayla with me," Mom announced. "Tyler and I have already found a place." "Like hell you are," Dad and I said simultaneously, but I could see it in Mom's eyes. The determination, the certainty that she knew what was best. She'd already decided our futures, drawn up her plans like battle strategies. My birthday cake sat half-eaten on the counter, forgotten in the wake of destruction. I looked at my father, saw the pain he was trying to hide, and something inside me hardened. In that moment, watching Mom destroy our family with practiced ease, I made a promise to myself. She thought she could control everything, manipulate everyone. She thought I was just a child who would accept whatever she decided. She was wrong, and someday, she'd learn exactly how wrong she was. The moving boxes mock me from every corner of my new bedroom. 3 weeks since my birthday, and Mom's perfect little plan is falling into place exactly as she wanted. Almost. "Ayla, come down and help Tyler arrange the living room." Mom's voice floats up the stairs, dripping with manufactured cheerfulness. I stay silent, watching through my window as Dad's car idles at the curb. He's been sitting there for 10 minutes, probably wrestling with whether to come to the door. Finally, his brake lights flash red, and he pulls away. Another weekend visitation ends with this same ritual. Him wanting to say something more, me pretending not to notice, both of us drowning in words we can't speak. Ayla! Mom appears in my doorway, her smile tight. Did you hear me? Tyler's trying to make this feel like home. It's not home. I don't look at her. And he's not family. Don't be difficult. Tyler's done nothing but try to welcome you. Accept exist, I think. Accept destroy everything. Downstairs, Tyler's arranging furniture like he's staging a magazine shoot. Everything perfectly aligned, strategically placed, just like his practiced smiles and careful comments about fresh starts and new beginnings. The sofa would look better against that wall, he suggests, pointing. More open flow. The flow is fine in our real house, I mutter. Mom's hand grips my shoulder. Ayla. No, it's okay. Tyler interrupts, his voice honey smooth. Change is hard, but you'll see, kiddo. This place has potential. The nickname makes my skin crawl. I notice how he's rearranged Mom's favorite photos, prominently displaying recent ones of just the three of us while older family pictures have mysteriously disappeared. A knock at the door saves me from responding. It's Lucas, the boy from next door, holding a plate of cookies. Mom thought you might like these, he says, looking directly at me rather than the adults. Welcome to the neighborhood. He's older than me, maybe 17 or 18, with sharp eyes that seem to catch everything. Including, I notice, the way Tyler subtly shifts closer to Mom, his hand finding her waist in a display of possession. How thoughtful, Mom exclaims. Ayla, why don't you and Lucas take these to the kitchen? In the kitchen, Lucas speaks quietly. Your mom's new husband, he used to live here before, with his ex-wife. My head snaps up. What? Yeah, there were rumors about why they split, something about money disappearing from joint accounts. Before I can ask more, Tyler appears in the doorway. Getting along already? That's great. Lucas, your family's been here a while, right? Any good investment opportunities in the area? The question seems casual, but there's an edge to it. Lucas meets Tyler's gaze steadily. My parents don't discuss their finances with neighbors anymore, not since the Henderson incident. Tyler's smile flickers. Mom calls him back to the living room, and he leaves with one last calculating look at Lucas. The Henderson incident? I ask. Doesn't exist. But Tyler's reaction told us something, didn't it? Us. The word hangs between us like a lifeline. Later that night, I hear them arguing in their bedroom. Mom's voice rises sharply. You promised this would work. It will, Tyler insists. Once everything's in place. Daniel's lawyers are asking questions about the transfer. Let them ask. Everything's legal, technically. I press my ear against the wall, heart pounding. What transfer? What are they planning? My phone buzzes. A text from Dad. Miss you, kiddo. Here if you need anything. I stare at the message, thinking about the way Tyler arranged those photos, erasing our past piece by piece, about Lucas's warning and the mysterious transfer, about Mom's perfectly orchestrated new life that feels like a house of cards waiting to collapse. Opening my laptop, I start searching Tyler's name, digging through old news articles and public records. If he's played this game before, there must be traces. And if Mom thinks I'm just going to sit quietly while they rewrite my life, another text arrives, this time from Lucas. Found something interesting about your stepdad. Coffee tomorrow? I glance at my bedroom door where Mom's laughter now filters through, that fake, tinkling sound she uses to smooth over rough moments. She thinks she's won, that I'll adjust because children are resilient. She doesn't understand. Resilience isn't always about adapting. Sometimes it's about fighting back. Lucas slides his laptop across the coffee shop table. Look at this. Tyler's ex-wife filed for bankruptcy 2 years ago, right after their divorce. The screen shows court documents, financial records, a trail of breadcrumbs leading to an ugly truth. My hands shake as I scroll through the files. He drained their accounts, I say, just like you suspected. And now your mom's given him access to everything. Lucas lowers his voice. Including your trust fund. The coffee in my stomach turns to acid. Dad set up that trust fund when I was born. My college money, my future. I push the laptop away, remembering the whispered argument I'd overheard last night about transfers and lawyers. There's more, Lucas says. Tyler's been meeting with investment advisors. The same ones who helped him hide money during his last divorce. A text from Mom lights up my phone. Where are you? Family dinner tonight. Important news to share. I have to go. I stand up too quickly, knocking my chair backward. They're planning something. Ayla, wait. Lucas catches my arm. We need to be smart about this. If we move too fast, they're stealing my future, Lucas. I'm done waiting. The drive home feels endless. When I arrive, Tyler's expensive new car sits in the driveway next to Mom's. Such a perfect picture of success. Such a perfect lie. Inside, Mom's setting the table with her best china, the set she took from our old house, claiming it was a family heirloom. Another lie. I'd found the receipt in Dad's old files. There you are, she beams. Perfect timing. Tyler has wonderful news. Tyler emerges from his home office, all polished smiles and calculated charm. Kiddo, come sit down. This affects all of us. The endearment makes my skin crawl. I remain standing. I've been working with some very talented financial advisors, he begins. They've shown me how to maximize your trust fund's potential through strategic investments. Mom touches my shoulder. Isn't it wonderful? Tyler's looking out for your future. By doing what? My voice comes out sharper than intended. Moving money around without Dad's knowledge? The temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. Tyler's smile doesn't waver, but something cold flickers in his eyes. Your father means well, Mom says carefully, but he's always been conservative with investments. Tyler knows what he's doing. Like he knew what he was doing with his ex-wife's money? The words hang in the air like smoke. Tyler's facade cracks for just a second. Surprise, then anger, then nothing. I don't know what you think you've heard, he says smoothly, but there are always two sides to every story. Really? Should we call her and ask about her side? That's enough. Mom's voice rises. I don't know where this attitude is coming from, but it stops now. Tyler is family. He's a con artist. The words explode out of me. He's stealing from us, and you're too blind to see it. Mom slaps me. The sound echoes through the dining room, followed by a terrible silence. Her hand trembles as she lowers it, horror crossing her face. Ayla, I'm already running upstairs, locking myself in my room. Through the door, I hear them arguing. She's obviously been talking to Daniel. We need to move faster. The paperwork isn't ready? Then make it ready. My phone buzzes. Lucas. Don't do anything yet. I found something bigger. Meet tomorrow? Another text arrives, this one from Dad. Everything okay? You seemed upset at last visit. Then one from Mom's sister, Aunt Sarah. Call me. Need to talk about your mom's new husband. Important. The pieces are falling into place, forming a picture I should have seen sooner. Tyler isn't just after my trust fund. He's working his way through our entire family, picking us off one by one. I open my laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard as I start documenting everything. The conversations, the meetings, the suspicious transfers. Mom thinks she slapped the rebellion out of me. Tyler thinks his smooth talks and fake smiles can cover his tracks. They're both wrong. I text Lucas back. Tomorrow's too late. They're moving money now. Need to stop them tonight. His response is immediate. Don't do anything stupid. But as I hear Tyler's office door close and his printer whirring to life, I know stupid isn't the word for what I'm about to do. The word is necessary. The flash drive feels heavy in my pocket as I walk into Aunt Sarah's house. She opens the door before I can knock, pulling me inside with unusual urgency. Your mother called me last night, she says, leading me to her home office. She's worried about your rebellious phase. The air quotes are audible in her tone. Did she mention the part where Tyler's trying to steal my trust fund? Sarah's expression shifts. Show me what you found. I connect the drive to her computer. The documents I copied from Tyler's printer last night fill the screen. Transfer authorizations, investment proposals, carefully worded legal documents that make theft look like protection. Clever, Sarah murmurs, scrolling through the files. He's structured it so everything appears legitimate. Can they actually do this? Not without your father's signature, but... She pauses, frowning at something on the screen. This is interesting. Tyler's been in contact with James Morton. Who's that? A judge, old family friend of your mother's. Sarah's fingers tap the desk rhythmically. He oversees a lot of family court cases. The implication hits me like a punch. They're going to try to get full custody. With the right judge, the right paperwork. Sarah doesn't finish the sentence. My phone buzzes. Lucas. Emergency. Tyler's ex-wife found dead in her apartment. Apparent suicide. The room tilts sideways. I show Sarah the message. Jesus. She stands up, pacing. Ayla, this is bigger than we thought. These documents, the timing. Another text from Lucas. Police ruled it suicide, but her sister's asking questions. Want to meet her? Before I can respond, Mom's number flashes on my screen. I let it go to voicemail. I need to see Tyler's ex-wife's sister, I tell Sarah. No. Her voice is sharp. You need to be careful. Very careful. Tyler's not just manipulative, he's dangerous. Then help me stop him. Sarah studies me for a long moment. There might be a way, but it's risky, and your mother will never forgive me. Mom stopped being worthy of forgiveness when she chose him over me. The words taste bitter, but they're true. Sarah nods slowly, then opens her desk drawer and pulls out a thick file. I've been gathering information since they got married. Banking records, business dealings, patterns of behavior, but I needed proof of intent. She gestures at my flash drive, which you just provided. My phone buzzes again. Dad this time. Got a call from the trust fund managers. We need to talk. How long? I ask Sarah. To set everything in motion? A week, maybe less. But Ayla, she grabs my arm. Once we start this, there's no going back. Your mother will be implicated too. I think about Mom's slap, about her blind defense of Tyler, about all the little betrayals leading to this moment. Good, I say. Sarah makes a call while I text Lucas back. Set up the meeting, but not at his ex-wife's place, somewhere public. His response is immediate. Coffee shop on 5th, tomorrow 10 a.m., coming with you. When Sarah hangs up, her face is grim. My contact at the SEC is interested. Very interested, especially given the timing of the ex-wife's death. What do we do now? We wait. Let Tyler think he's winning. And Ayla? She hands me back the flash drive. Don't go home tonight. Stay here. As if on cue, Mom's voice fills Sarah's answering machine. Sarah, if Ayla's there, tell her to come home immediately. Tyler's worried sick. We only want what's best for her. I delete the message halfway through. Sarah watches me, her expression unreadable. You know this ends one of two ways, she says quietly. Either Tyler goes down and takes your mother with him, or someone else ends up like his ex-wife. My phone lights up with another text. Tyler this time. Kiddo, let's talk. Just you and me. I'll explain everything. I show Sarah the message. She takes my phone, types a response. Okay, tomorrow after school. Buy us time, she explains. And Ayla, whatever happens next, remember, you're not the one who started this war, but you might have to be the one who finishes it. I think about the dead ex-wife, about the judge in Tyler's pocket, about Mom's perfectly crafted lies. The fear is still there, but something else burns hotter. Purpose. The coffee shop feels like neutral ground, but I know better now. Tyler's ex-wife's sister, Rachel, sits across from me, her hands wrapped around an untouched cappuccino. Lucas hovers nearby, pretending to read while watching the door. Karen wasn't suicidal, Rachel says quietly. She was scared. Of Tyler? She slides a phone across the table. These were her last texts to me. The messages paint a familiar picture. Financial manipulation, gaslighting, threats wrapped in concern. But the last one makes my blood freeze. He says he'll make it look like an accident, like Julia. Who's Julia? Rachel's voice catches. Tyler's college girlfriend. Drowning accident 20 years ago. Karen found something in their old records, but she wouldn't tell me what. Said it was safer if I didn't know. My phone buzzes. Aunt Sarah. SEC moving faster than expected. Tyler's making withdrawals from multiple accounts, large ones. Another text follows immediately. Your mother just emptied your college fund. The cappuccino in front of Rachel ripples as my hands shake the table. Lucas appears instantly at my side, reading over my shoulder. We need to go, he says. Now. Wait, Rachel grabs my arm. There's more. Karen had a safety deposit box. The key. The coffee shop's door chimes. Tyler walks in, Mom right behind him. There you are, kiddo. His voice carries across the cafe, perfectly pitched to sound relieved rather than threatening. We've been worried sick. Lucas steps between us as they approach. Mom's eyes narrow at Rachel. Ayla, come here right now, Mom demands. You have no idea what kind of people. Like Julia? The name hits like a bullet. Tyler's smile freezes. Or Karen. Who's been filling your head with these ridiculous stories? Mom reaches for me, but I step back. Karen left something, I say, watching Tyler's face, in a safety deposit box. His expression doesn't change, but something dark flickers in his eyes. Whatever Karen told you, she was troubled, unstable. The police confirmed. The police confirmed what you wanted them to, Rachel interrupts. Just like with Julia. Tyler's mask slips for just a second. I don't know what you think you're doing, but involving my stepdaughter in your conspiracy theories. Stepdaughter? I laugh, and it sounds like breaking glass. Is that what I am? Or just another asset to liquidate? Mom pales. How did you? The college fund, Mom? Really? It's temporary, she stammers. Tyler has investment opportunities. Like he had for Karen, for Julia. Tyler steps forward, all pretense gone. You need to stop talking now. Lucas moves closer to me. Touch her, and I send everything to the SEC. Everything. You don't have anything, Tyler says, but his eyes dart to the exits. My phone buzzes again. Sarah. Police want to reopen Karen's case. Get somewhere safe. Now. Actually, I pull out the flash drive. We have everything. Every transfer, every manipulation, every conversation about Judge Morton. And now we know about Julia, too. Mom grabs Tyler's arm. What is she talking about? What did you do? His silence speaks volumes. For the first time, I see doubt crack her perfect facade. Mom, I say quietly, he's using you. Like he used Karen. Like he used Julia. And when he's done, enough! Tyler lunges for the flash drive. Several things happen at once. Lucas shoves me back, Rachel screams, Mom stumbles into a table. And through the window, I see police cars pulling up outside. Tyler sees them too. His face transforms into something I'll never forget. Rage and calculation and cold, empty purpose. You're just like Karen, he snarls. Too smart for your own good, but at least she knew when to stop. Tyler, Mom's voice breaks. What are you saying? Ask him about Julia's drowning, Mom. Ask him why Karen was really scared. The police enter the cafe. Tyler backs toward the rear exit, his eyes locked on mine. This isn't over, kiddo, he says softly. Then he runs. As chaos erupts around us, I watch Mom sink into a chair, her carefully constructed world crumbling. She looks smaller somehow, older, lost. I'm sorry, she whispers, but I'm not sure who she's talking to, me or herself. Rachel touches my shoulder. Karen's safety deposit box, the keys in her apartment, whatever she found about Julia. It's evidence, I finish, and Tyler knows we'll find it. The question is, what will he do to stop us? Looking at Mom's broken expression, at the police swarming the cafe, at Tyler's empty coffee cup on the counter, I realize something terrifying. This isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about survival. Karen's apartment feels like a tomb. Rachel's hands shake as she unlocks the door, and I understand why. Everything is exactly as her sister left it, down to the half-empty coffee mug on the kitchen counter. The key should be in her study, Rachel whispers. Lucas positions himself by the window, watching the street. Make it quick. Tyler could... already did. The voice comes from the darkened hallway. Tyler steps out, holding Karen's safety deposit box key. Looking for this? My heart stops. Behind him, Mom emerges from the shadows. But something's different. Her perfect makeup is smeared, her hands trembling. I'm sorry, Ayla, she says. He has everything. The house, the accounts. He'll destroy us all. Tyler's smile is razor sharp. Smart woman, your mother, finally figured out how the game works. He tosses the key in the air, catches it. Unlike Karen or Julia. What did you do to them? Rachel's voice cracks. The same thing that happens to anyone who threatens what's mine. His eyes lock onto mine. Karen actually thought she could prove something about Julia's death. Stupid girl never realized the evidence was right here all along. He pulls out an old envelope from his jacket. Julia's last letter. Very touching. Very incriminating. For anyone who found it. Mom steps forward. Tyler, please. She's just a child. She stopped being a child the moment she decided to play detective. He produces a gun from his waistband. Now, about that flash drive, Lucas moves toward me, but Tyler swings the gun toward him. Stay put, tech boy. Your little SEC friends won't find anything now anyway. Amazing how quickly records can disappear when the right people owe you favors. My phone buzzes. Sarah's message flashes. Police found Judge Morton dead. Apparent suicide. Tyler's cleaning house. Tyler notices my expression. Ah, you heard about James? Tragic. Guilt can be such a burden. You're insane, I whisper. No, I'm thorough. Karen, Julia, James, they all made the same mistake, thinking they could stop me. He steps closer. But you, kiddo, you're different, smart, strategic, just like me. I'm nothing like you. No? His laugh is cold. The manipulation, the careful planning, the way you turned your mother against me, pure artistry. We could have been quite a team. Mom sobs quietly in the corner. Rachel inches toward the door, but Tyler's gun follows her movement. The safety deposit box is empty, he continues. Has been for weeks, but you all came running anyway, just like I knew you would. Predictable? Like Karen was predictable. Like Julia was. You killed them. Mom's voice is hollow. All of them. And I helped you. You helped yourself, dear. To their money, their lives, their futures. We both did. The perfect team, remember? I think about all the signs I missed early on. The way Mom changed after meeting him. The careful grooming. The subtle manipulation. He didn't just destroy his victims. He turned their loved ones into accomplices. The flash drive, he demands. Now. My hand moves to my pocket, but Lucas shouts, Ayla, don't. The gunshot is deafening. Lucas crumples, clutching his shoulder. Rachel screams. Mom covers her ears. Next one won't miss, Tyler says calmly. The drive. I pull it out slowly. Everything we gathered, all the evidence, our only leverage, gone in an instant. Tyler pockets it, smiling. See, reasonable people can always make deals. Now about those copies I'm sure you made. There aren't any. Let's be sure. He raises the gun again. Your aunt's house would be a good place to start looking. Or maybe your father's office. The threat is clear. I've led him right to them, to everyone I was trying to protect. You won't get away with this, Rachel says, but her voice wavers. I already have. Multiple times. Tyler checks his watch. Now let's take a drive, all of us. There's a lovely spot by the lake where Julia used to swim. Perfect place to clear things up. Mom steps between us. Tyler, please, I'll do anything. You've done enough. He cuts her off. Time to let the grown-ups finish this. As he herds us toward the door, I catch Lucas's eye. He's pale from blood loss, but manages a slight nod toward his phone, fallen beneath the window during the shooting. Still recording. Tyler may have the flash drive, but he doesn't have everything. Not yet. The question is, will any of us survive long enough to use it? The lake stretches before us, black and still in the moonlight. Tyler's gun hasn't wavered since we left Karen's apartment, but Mom's resolve has. She keeps glancing between us, her perfect world crumbling with each passing minute. Julia loved swimming here, Tyler says, directing us toward the dock. Right up until the end. Funny how history repeats itself. Rachel stumbles, and I catch her arm. You won't get away with this. But I already have, multiple times. He smiles that practiced smile. Your mother understands, don't you, dear? Mom's voice cracks. I didn't know. About Julia, Karen, I didn't. You knew enough. His tone shifts, revealing something cold and empty. You saw what you wanted to see, just like Karen did, just like Julia. A police siren wails in the distance. Tyler's grip on the gun tightens. Phones, he demands. Now. We comply, watching as he throws them into the water. All except Lucas's, still recording in his apartment, still capturing everything. You were right about one thing, Tyler continues, focusing on me. I am a con artist, the best kind, the kind that makes people destroy themselves. Like you made Julia destroy herself? The words taste like poison. Julia was weak. She actually believed in love. He laughs. Karen thought exposing me would bring justice. But you understood revenge. Learned from the master without even knowing it. Mom steps forward. Tyler, please. We can still. The gun swings toward her. Still what? Play happy family? That act is over, sweetheart. Has been since your daughter started pulling threads. The recording, I say quickly, drawing his attention back to me. Lucas's phone. Won't matter once this looks like another tragic accident. A family outing gone wrong. Mother, daughter, trying to save their friend. The sirens are closer now. Tyler's mask slips further, revealing something desperate and dangerous. Move, to the edge. We shuffle forward, the old dock creaking beneath our feet. The water below is deep and dark, hiding its secrets like Tyler has hidden his. You know what the police will find? His voice is almost conversational. A suicide note. Poor Megan, consumed by guilt over her affair, her failures as a mother, taking her daughter with her. They'll never believe it, Rachel says, like they didn't believe Karen killed herself or Julia drowned accidentally. He steps closer. People believe what's easiest, what lets them sleep at night. The gun touches the back of my head, cold and final. Mom lets out a broken sob. Any last words, kiddo? I think about Julia, about Karen, about all the lives he's destroyed while wearing that perfect smile, about Mom's blindness and my own rage that led us here. Just 3, I say. Now, Grandpa George. The shot rings out, but it's not from Tyler's gun. He staggers, dropping his weapon as blood blooms on his shoulder. On the shore, Grandpa George stands with Dad and 2 police officers, his hunting rifle still raised. That's for Julia, he says quietly. Tyler lunges for his fallen gun, but Mom moves faster. Her designer heel connects with his hand, sending the weapon skittering into the lake. That's for my daughter. The police swarm the dock as Tyler tries to stand. His perfect facade cracks completely, revealing the monster beneath. You don't understand, he snarls. I made you, all of you, without me. Without you, we're free, Mom says. As they lead Tyler away, I notice something in his eyes. Not anger or fear, but recognition. He sees himself in me. The calculation, the patience, the capacity for revenge. And for the first time, I'm terrified of what I could become. Dad pulls me close, his arms shaking. When Lucas called, "Is he okay?" "In surgery, he'll recover." He looks at Mom, who stands alone at the dock's edge. "Will you?" I watch her staring into the dark water, perhaps seeing Julia's reflection, or Karen's, or her own. The sirens paint her face in red and blue, like the fragments of our broken family. I don't know, I answer honestly. The lake keeps its secrets, but we don't have to keep ours anymore. As dawn breaks over the water, I realize revenge isn't about winning or losing. It's about what remains after the battle is over, and we're all still standing. Barely, but standing. The courthouse steps feel colder than they should in summer. Tyler's sentencing ended hours ago, but I can't make myself leave. Mom sits beside me, both of us watching the sunset paint the building's columns in shades of blood and gold. 20 years, she says finally. It doesn't seem enough. It won't bring Julia back, or Karen. No. She touches the pearl necklace she always wears, her last gift from Tyler. But it might stop the next Julia, the next Karen. The next me? She doesn't say. Doesn't have to. Lucas appears at the bottom of the steps, his arm still in a sling. Rachel's heading home. Says thank you. I nod, remembering Karen's sister's face when Tyler finally confessed. Victory and grief look remarkably similar sometimes. Your grandfather wants to talk to you, Lucas adds quietly. Says it's important. Mom stiffens beside me. She hasn't forgiven George for keeping secrets about that night at the lake, for knowing about Tyler's past and waiting to act. But then, we all kept secrets. I find Grandpa George in the courthouse garden, studying a chessboard he brought. 2 pieces are already in play. Sit, he says, not looking up. This move was made 20 years ago. I recognize the opening. It's aggressive, designed to trap the opponent quickly. Like Tyler's schemes. Like my revenge. You knew, Julia. I say. It's not a question. I was the detective assigned to her case. His hands shake slightly as he moves another piece. Ruled accidental drowning. My first major failure. That's why you were watching Tyler all this time. I saw the pattern repeating. With Karen, with your mother. He looks up finally. With you. I'm nothing like him. No? He moves another piece, a sacrifice play. The careful planning, the manipulation, the way you turned everyone against him. Tyler's words at the lake echo in my head. My stomach turns. The difference, George continues, is that you stopped. You chose justice over vengeance at the end. I didn't with my first case. Cost me my badge, my marriage. Some prices are too high. A breeze scatters fallen leaves across the chessboard, disrupting the game's perfect symmetry. Mom wants to reconcile, I tell him. Dad's considering it. And you? I don't know how to trust anymore, any of us. He nods slowly. Trust isn't about certainty. It's about choosing to be vulnerable anyway. Is that what you did when you let Tyler take us to the lake? No. His voice hardens. I chose revenge that night, used you as bait, just like he would have. The truth hits harder than Tyler's confessions ever did. George continues moving pieces, each one revealing more of his strategy. The game's already lost, I observe, was from that first move 20 years ago. The question is, what do we do with the remaining pieces? Mom appears at the garden entrance, hesitant. Behind her, Dad watches with an expression I haven't seen since my 12th birthday, hope mixed with fear. We rebuild, I answer, standing, but differently this time. George smiles sadly. The board never forgets its scars, Ayla. Neither do we. No, but maybe we're not supposed to. I leave him with his unfinished game, walking toward my parents. They're not touching, but they're not pulling away either. Small steps. Lucas falls into step beside me. You okay? I think about Tyler's perfect smile, about Mom's broken sobs, about George's sacrificed pieces, about how revenge and protection can look identical until it's too late. I will be, I say. Just stay close. He doesn't answer, just takes my hand. Another small step. Behind us, George tips over his king, conceding a game that ended long before I entered it. The piece rolls across the board, leaving faint marks in its wake, like scars, like memories, like the endless echoes of choices we can't undo. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the game isn't about winning or losing, but about what we do with the pieces we have left. I squeeze Lucas's hand and walk toward my waiting family, leaving the chessboard and its perfect patterns behind. Some games aren't meant to be won. They're meant to be survived.